LiberalViewer presents.
So probably the most decisive moment in any of the presidential debates between President Barack Obama and Republican challenger Mitt Romney came in response to a question about Libya, in which Romney erroneously relied on bad information from the right-wing Fox News smear machine as if it were fact, as you can see in this clip.
I think it's interesting the president just said something which is that on the day after the attack, he went to the Rose Garden and said that this was an act of terror. That's what I said. You said in the Rose Garden, the day after the attack, it was an act of terror. It was not a spontaneous demonstration. Is that what you're saying?
Please proceed, Governor.
I want to make sure we get that for the record, because it took the president 14 days before he called the attack in Benghazi an act of terror.
Get the transcript.
He did, in fact, sir. So let me call it an act of terror.
Can you say that a little louder, Candy?
He did call it an act of terror. It did as well take 2 weeks or so for the whole idea of there being a riot out there about this tape to come out. You're correct about that.
Now, if you watch the video I made 2 weeks before the debate, you know Romney was completely wrong to claim it took President Obama 14 days to call the attack in Benghazi an act of terror, but Romney's wrongness shouldn't be surprising to those who've watched his campaign and, of course, Fox News politicized the attack in Benghazi, trying to claim there's some cover-up, as satirical conservative pundit Stephen Colbert pointed out in his post-debate analysis in this clip.
Romney and his running mate have been hammering the president over this cover-up for weeks. Americans are asking, what did the president know? When did the president know it? Which one is Libya?
So Romney and his running mates at Fox News had already spent weeks promoting the supposed Libya cover-up, including the false claim about not calling the attack an act of terror, and supposedly straight news anchor Bret Baier was still trying to deny the dishonesty in Fox News' coverage immediately after the debate, as you can see here.
On the Libya question, there was something very interesting. The president was saying that he was declaring it an act of terrorism at the beginning in the Rose Garden on September 12th. This is the quote that he said there, quote, "No acts of terror," at the end of the speech, not specifically speaking about Benghazi, but saying generically, "No acts of terror will ever shake the resolve of this great nation, alter that character, or eclipse the light of the values that we stand for."
That's right. That's the far-fetched, far-right spin Fox News came up with, which was well skewered by the parody of Stephen Colbert that you can see in this clip.
Look, Obama didn't actually say act of terror, did he, Jim?
No acts of terror will ever shake the resolve of this great nation.
Okay, but acts of terror could refer to anything. I mean, how do we know he's talking about Benghazi in that Benghazi speech the day after the Benghazi attacks? He could have been talking about beloved character actor Ben Gazzara. Because, folks, I will tell you, it is a scandal that he does not get more roles. What? Gazzara's dead? Happened on Obama's watch. Folks, now that's the truth.
Well, I haven't actually seen any Fox News stories blaming President Obama for Ben Gazzara's death, but inside the Fox News bubble, they've been adamant that President Obama didn't call the Benghazi attack an act of terror, and what's great about the way Romney relied on Fox News false facts in the second debate is that it was an instance where the right-wing Fox News bubble actually had a political cost for Republicans, as Bill Maher pointed out to his panel after the debate in this clip.
This is where the bubble is going to get you. In the Republican bubble, it took Obama 14 days to say act of terror. But we know, we actually have the transcript. Show the quote. Obama said the next day, no acts of terror. Now, this is so different because this election, like so many of our elections, is about zingers and gaffes, especially these debates, zingers and gaffes. Who's going to make the gaffe? This is a gaffe. Mitt Romney made a gaffe. Where in the world is a gaffe not a gaffe? In the Republican bubble where they pretend it's not a gaffe.
You know, Bill Maher's right that only in the right-wing Fox News bubble was Romney's misrepresentation not a gaffe. As the moderator of the debate and many of the actual journalists covering the debate pointed out, as you can see, for example, in the post-debate analysis from journalist Jonathan Karl of ABC News in this clip.
That was obviously the Benghazi exchange. And by the way, on that, Diane, the president did that day in the Rose Garden actually say, no acts of terror will ever shake the resolve of this great nation, talking about what happened there.
Or, for more nuanced analysis, journalist Wolf Blitzer pointed out both Romney's act of terror gaffe and Romney's failure to ask more legitimate questions about the Libya attack in CNN's post-debate coverage here.
On the Libya question, for example, the president was specifically asked a question that he avoided answering. He was asked, what did you do when you got reports before the attack that they needed greater security at that consulate in Benghazi? He avoided answering that. He then went on to give his answer and to express his deep feelings for those 4 Americans that were killed. That was a missed opportunity, clearly, for Mitt Romney, because he didn't challenge the president specifically on that. He didn't say that, Mr. President, you didn't answer that question. He then misreported what the president said on the day after that 11th anniversary attack on 9/11 on September 12th, when the president was in the Rose Garden. And he did say, in fact, no acts of terror will ever shake the resolve of this great nation. So that was a mistake by Mitt Romney, but it was obviously a missed opportunity as well.
Now, that analysis was so balanced it may have been falsely balanced, because even with the additional emails and facts discovered since the debates, it still looks like Romney and his running mates at Fox News overly politicized the Libya attacks with claims of a cover-up based on no more than the normal mistakes and miscommunications to be expected in an ongoing investigation, and none of those nuances diminish the more immediate impact of that decisive debate moment, as was comedically exaggerated in a great opening sketch on Saturday Night Live that included this clip.
I want to know why it took you so long to call the attack in Benghazi a terrorist act.
I said that the day after.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
No, in fact, I am willing to bet, here and now, that you have never, in your life, even once, used the phrase terrorist act.
I'll get the transcript. Get it.
Governor, he has, in fact, used the phrase terrorist act.
Candy, no. Candy, come on.
I'm afraid he did.
Candy, please. Candy.
In some ways, that sketch captures the spirit of that debate moment better than the original clip itself, and whether that big winning moment for President Obama will make a difference in what looks to be a close election remains to be seen, but it does demonstrate that reliance on Fox News misinformation can, eventually, exact a political cost, and that's a good thing, I think, but I want to know what you think. Isn't it good to see Republican reliance on Fox News misinformation actually can exact a political cost on a candidate in a debate? And regarding the facts of the September 11th, 2012 attack on the American consulate in Benghazi, in this election year, are Republicans politicizing the blame for this September 11th, 2012 attack more than any Democrats politicized the blame for the September 11th, 2001 attacks?
YouTube, you decide.